Hi everyone, I'm Ricky and this is Steel Colosseum. I've been working on the solo rules and wanted to give you a quick demo. Come and join me at the table. This is the first game that's going to be published by Zatu Games. Designed by James Hewitt and Sophie Williams from Needy Cat Games. I've done the solo rules. We're mid-development now, so everything you see is indeed prototype. So the artwork here, the graphic design of the solo components is all prototype. The rest, this is a pre-production mock-up of the final game with artwork from Christopher Neil Knight. In the final game there'll be two modes of play. There'll be the contest mode, which is player v player or team v team. So you can play as a team of operators versus another team of operators. Each team will control two robots, and you'll be battling against another team of two robots. What I've designed and developing is called the Gauntlet mode. In Gauntlet mode, it's just one team. So you could play that solo, playing both robots, or cooperatively with another player. You control one robot, they control the other, as a team. And in Gauntlet mode, you're taking on a team of house robots or drones. In addition, in your multiplayer PvP contest games, you can throw these drones, these automated opponents, into your contests to kind of add a layer of chaos to the arena, upping the replayability of your games. So I'm going to be demoing a solo game today where I'm playing as a single team, both robots from my team, against the automated drones. Now do remember, as I say, it's still in development, so although the design is going to show you how the game plays, there may be some little tweaks to balance, maybe some of the weapons will be downgraded, all that kind of stuff, or upgraded, whatever I need during development before the game is delivered to you. It's a game of arena combat. We're here in the Steel Colosseum. It's team versus team. It's the best of 3 bouts. Each bout we've got to knock out the opponent's robots, earn a victory emblem. Whoever gets their 2 victory emblems first wins the game. Let's dive straight in and show you some of the phases of the game. In Gauntlet mode you get to choose your robots during setup. So I've chosen Juggernaut and Sentinel. They've got their 3D miniatures. But we've also got some of the artwork here. 4 others, so there's 6 total for the base game. We've got Insectide, Shiba Zero, Relay and Magnetron. Each of these robots brings its own deck of control cards. So you'll find each plays differently. Some are speedier than others, some more lumbering but stronger attacks. Some have ranged attacks with cannons, some have wrecking arms like Juggernaut here. So lots of variability in how these different robots play. Each robot will also have an operator. Now if you've got a solo team where you're playing both robots, you'll just have one operator card. If you're playing cooperatively with someone else, then each of you will have an operator card controlling one robot. So for example, I like to play Lake, so let's play Lake. Each of these different operators also bring, as well as a backstory, their own special ability and a variable number of times that those abilities can be triggered. So for Lake, with the copycat ability, that can be executed twice. So we have 2 ability tokens. If you're playing solo with one operator, you'll merge your control cards into a single deck. So I've got cards for Sentinel and Juggernaut shuffled together. Each robot has a desperate action card, so it doesn't matter, we'll draw 3 cards, we'll make a hand of 6. It doesn't matter, even if we're left with no cards for Sentinel, let's say, and only cards for Juggernaut, we'll always have at least one action we could take, a desperate action. The way the control of your robots is going to work is, on your turn, you'll play a command card for each of your robots. You'll execute the command and then you'll draw 2 more cards. When you're through the deck, you don't get to draw any more cards. And this is what this power down card's all about. And this is another layer to the game, is timing this power down card. You don't get to perform any actions, but all cards that you've previously played which are now in a command chain and unavailable to you, will get shuffled back in, creating a new deck, and then suddenly you're viable again. You can draw more command cards. So timing that turn when you're doing nothing, when you're not vulnerable, when you think the opponent isn't going to catch you unawares, is a key part of the skill of playing well. Okay, that's the paradigm. That's how you get your deck refreshed. All right. Now, what's important is whether we're playing Gauntlet or Contest, right? Player versus player, team versus team, or solo or cooperatively against the automated drones, we'll always play the same way. The game is exactly the same. You've only got one set of rules to learn. But there are some new rules just to drive the drones, right? They don't have different control decks for different types of drone. They have a single remote control deck. They're controlled by the owners of the Steel Colosseum, the Boneyard operators. Okay, they don't have an operator card like us. This deck will determine what actions the drones take. And the key is that it's nice and simple. We want this to be a fast-acting, highly playable automated opponent, so you can focus on the action. Keep it fast, right? Okay. We're going to be taking on the Scorpions and the Hornets, but there's a whole bunch of different drones. Again, 6 in all. So we've got Cyclops, Medusa, Talus, Skeleton, Scorpion and Hornet. And each one will bring their own logic, their own tricks and tactics, their own different weapons and different styles of play. And this is where the parts market comes in, because you can customize your robots. Each one's got different upgrade systems, as do the drones. So the first phase of the game, and between every bout, remember it's the best of 3 bouts. So before the first, second and third bouts, we'll have a chance to go to the parts market. And this is where we can spend scrap that we've collected. We start the game with 8 scrap, but as you're playing and knocking armor off enemy robots, they'll be dropping scrap that you can collect and use between bouts, or during bouts actually for trick cards. We'll come to those in a minute. But between bouts, we can spend that scrap to upgrade our robots, to build a supply of motive systems, special systems and weapon systems that we can upgrade our robots with. So let's say I draw one, we're going to take turns. It's kind of like, you buy one, I buy one, spending the scrap that you've collected. So you've got 8 to start with. So I'm going to spend all 8 on my team. We'd be taking turns in a contest. Same for the drones, actually. They're going to grab cards to empty the market. But let's say I draw a couple of cards. Okay, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 scrap I've spent. Right, so there's a parts market phase where we're taking turns to buy upgrade systems. You'll then place these. You could have built up a library between bouts. You could have more than 4, but I've perhaps just happened to have 4. But at the start of the bout, you can place 2, up to 2 on each of your robots. In the Gauntlet mode, the upgrade systems that the drone team buys will determine which drones you're going to face. For example, Scorpion here will use 1 motive, 2 weapons and 1 special system. Okay, so let's say I want to put, well, Sentinel's got a Gauss cannon, so I'm going to put the tail gunner on Juggernaut and the kill switch here. Improved handling to Juggernaut and failsafe to Sentinel, kind of compensating for some of their weaknesses. So this is their inbuilt weapons. These are upgraded weapons that we can bring online. This is their armour. Robots in this game all have a facing, given by this arrow. So this is the front facing, left, right and rear. So you can see that Sentinel here is strongly armoured at the front, weakly armoured at the rear. And his control deck will reflect that as it goes. Juggernaut is more heavily armoured at the rear, less so at the front, but has stronger melee weapons, right in the front 3 spaces, according to his facing, but no ranged weapon. Hence why I thought the tail gunner might be good for him. Alright, so there we go. So these upgrade systems start offline. Drones have the same. They have 2 upgrade systems that they can bring online. We'll show you how this works when we get going. So that's the first phase of the game. Once the parts market phase is done, we clear this up. This will get redealt between bouts. Best of 3 bouts, remember. and then we'll deal 3 tricks instead. So during the bout, there'll be 3 tricks available. These are like special little trick maneuvers that you can do, or little stunts that you can pull off. These also have a cost. So this one costs 1 scrap, this one costs 4 scrap. Or you could take a lucky dip and draw from the top and see which one you get. If you do that, it costs 2 scrap. So you might be lucky and get something good, or unlucky and get something bad for your 2 scrap. On your turn, you'll be taking an action and optionally buying a trick card, which you can play. And the card will tell you when you can play the trick. Drones have their own little tricks, and different types of drones have their own types of tricks that they'll play. There's 8 different arenas. So I've set this one up. You've got a base board and then these obstacles that go on the board and tell you where to place obstacles. So with 8 different arenas, lots of variability. So for example, you've got one here called dividing lines, layout number 8, which has got a line all the way across the middle here. We also have these tokens. These are called activation tokens. There's a more potent one in the middle here called the Nexus. If you drive over these, then it will allow you to bring your systems online. It'll do the same for the drones. And how does damage get applied? When you're firing your weapons, you'll be drawing from this serious damage deck. So you'll be knocking down armor, and if you manage to destroy all the armor, then you'll be drawing serious damage, and these cards will get applied to your robot. And when you've got enough serious damage to hit this number, that's when your robot's defeated. One robot defeated wins the opposing team a victory emblem. Remember, best of 3. Alright, there's a round sequence here. Let's show you how this thing works then. So we've done the parts market, now we'll start playing some actions. Oh, I need to deploy the drones. Each arena will tell you where the drones will deploy. Drones have got tokens, and they're going to have their armor in a stack underneath them. So Hornet has armor 2, so he's got 2 armor tokens in a stack. Underneath his token, he's going to deploy here and face this way, according to the arena map. They also have a number on them, and that's their initiative. That's the order in which they'll act. So lowest goes first. Scorpions have higher armor. They've got 4 armor. They don't move quite as fast as far as Hornets. Early doors is kind of a little bit tentative, and then when you get close, it depends how you want to play. Whether you want to back off and be defensive, or be aggressive and move in. And a lot of that's going to be determined by the type of robot you're playing and the cards that they have. So, like here, we've got Sentinel Volley Fire. He's going to fire his weapons 3 times, which is good, but only good if I've got somebody close by. So I might just do a desperate action for a Sentinel. That's my only other option. So we'll start to build up Sentinel's command chain. You play the control card face down next to the robot. I can't play Sentinel cards against Juggernaut, and likewise I can't play Juggernaut cards against Sentinel. I think I just want to do manual activation for Juggernaut. Okay, we'll do that. We do the same for the drones. They get dealt a card each. Remember, this is all just prototype. Keep them face down. Next phase, after inputting the commands, we upload the commands. We flip them all face up. Now remember, these cards are not available to us again. They're out of our hand. They're out of our deck until we power down, re-put our cards in our command chain, in other words, cards we've played, back into our deck. Right, we flip those face up, then we flip the robots up as well, drones face up as well. And then we look at their speed. Whichever card has the highest speed goes first. So some of your stronger actions have low speed. See, this is a 5, this is a 24. The drones have played 93 and 140. So what that means is Hornet's going to go first. It's got the highest number. So that's another layer of excitement to this. So if I wanted to make sure that I was going to go first, I might want to play Deconstruct with speed 225. That's a really great card for Juggernaut. I know I'm going to act first, and I've got 3 actions on that card. Manual Activation is the card I wanted. I wanted this special system icon, which controls the type of action I can take. But it's got a low speed, so I know I'm probably going to go last. The different type of actions are attack, maneuver, a system action, and then this unique action. Unique action has a bit of text in the bottom, and every card in every deck for every robot is going to be slightly different. All right. The drones have got a special action of their own. It's called a trick. It makes it look like they're playing one of these trick cards, which for you is going to cost scrap. It's free for the drones. So Hornets go first. They're going to attack, trick, attack. Now the good thing is playing out these drone cards is really simple. We just look at their card, the remote control card, find the action on their drone card, and then follow the logic. Okay, so like this is a maneuver, you follow that logic. This is an attack, you follow that logic. Do you see? So for the Hornet, he's going to attack. Now the logic tells us if he can't attack, he just rotates 180 degrees. Okay, so we do this in initiative order. They both rotate 180 degrees. Then it performs his trick. The trick says move to the closest obstacle. Hornet's got this special ability. Obstacles are normally spaces that you can't move into or through. Hornet treats them like little outposts. So Hornet moves and moves. That's his trick. It doesn't matter which one you move, it says closest, so we could do it this way. And then it performs his attack again. Again, there's no target, so he's going to rotate. And he's going to rotate. So this is kind of like an aggressive card where he's taking an aggressive position. There's no enemy robots within its range. He's got no target to attack. And this is a big part of the game, guessing the speed. And, if we'd acted first, we might have come up in here and suddenly been in range of that drone's attacks. The fact that we played low speed cards meant, well, if he's going to go aggressive early, then I'm going to stay back and avoid those attacks. So there's lots of different layers to understanding which cards you play and the tactics you deploy. Right, that's it. That's the Hornet executed his card. That goes in a discard pile. Who's next? 93, 24, 5. Yep, the Scorpions are next. Now this is neat. He's going to play as a unique action. Every drone has kind of this threatening tactic, and it's got a track. When you see this icon, it moves this token up this track. When it hits the X spot, it performs this special maneuver. Add 1 armor to each Scorpion, max 6, and flip to undamaged side if damaged, and then it sets back to 0. So the fact that this thing's doing it, it's kind of like it's emulating the idea that we're building up combos of cards, and it's forcing you as a player to not stand back and kind of turtle and not take these things on. You have to go and take on these drones, otherwise they start to pull off these special moves. And for Scorpion, that means they just get stronger. Unique actions for each drone, look out for them. It forces you to take the game to these drones. Next we've got maneuver. Every drone has a different speed. Scorpion's got speed 4. Scorpion likes to patrol up and down and do little flips and attacks, so we'll see what he does. His logic's going to drive it forward. He's got 4 speed, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's hit one of these activation nodes, which allows him to bring one of his upgrade systems online. Nice simple logic, and once you get to know your drones, then you know how they move. That's upgrade system 1, so he's going to bring an upgrade system online for picking up one of those activation tokens, which means now he's activated his tail attack. This one says after it hits, then it deactivates again. So it's a pretty strong attack, but you can only use it once before he has to upgrade, turn it online again. Right, that's his 4 movement. The next Scorpion will now move. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 movement on a maneuver is spent by moving a square forwards, rotating 90 degrees. It costs 2 movement points to move backwards, but you can also push other robots. Drones won't push other drones, but they will push enemy robots. Another layer to this game is working as a team. Depending on the order of how things are playing out, you might decide, right, I've got a card that allows me to fire. I've got Juggernaut coming close. The enemy's not in my range, but I might use Juggernaut to shove and push with his maneuver action, push enemy robots into my line of fire and then shoot them. So, you know, different robots can work together as a team. In co-op and solo, it's really great trying to get your robots to work together. Right, then the Scorpions are going to attack. Is their final. They've got no one in their attack range, despite the fact that they've enabled their tails. So what they actually do is a little flipperoo move. The Scorpions, so they like to turn and put their tail on their foes if they dare come close. That's it. We've acted out this card for the Scorpion. Right, next me. So who's next? 5 speed here, 24 here for Sentinels. So Sentinels next. Interesting. Now this might change things up a little bit, but I'm going to use my Gauss cannon, which is a 1 strength weapon, and fire it forwards. It says if the target is adjacent to Sentinel, it deals no damage. I was kind of pointing this way because I wanted to go up and grab this activation token, but the drones got there first. But we can still fire our cannon. Desperate Action says you can only use one of this card's actions, so we can either attack or maneuver, or we could take a system action. A system action would be one of these actions on our upgrades. And then the thing about Desperate Action is you return this card to your hand at the end of your turn. It doesn't stay in this discard, in this command chain, right? That requires a power down to get it back. This card will always come back to your hand. So you can always do at least one thing. But really what you want to be doing is playing cards like this, where you can do not just one thing, but 3 things all in one go. Do little combos like we saw the drones trying to do. Let's do an attack. The Gauss cannon will allow me to do a single point of damage in a straight line on my facing. Obviously what I want to try and do is bring upgrade systems online, like this kill switch, which does 3 damage to an adjacent. We do 1 damage to our first target. We've hit this Scorpion. 1 out of his 3. Once that Scorpion gets down to 0 health, right, we've removed all its armor, then it flips over to its damaged side. And now it's vulnerable. Then you're hitting it for critical damage. And to do this, you draw these serious damage cards. And some do 2, some do 1. They also take systems offline, all that kind of stuff. For now though, we've done 1 damage to this robot. Once you've done enough critical damage to a damaged robot, then it's destroyed. Destroy all robots of the same type, so we get rid of both Scorpions, and then we win our victory emblem. And the bout ends and we begin a new bout. Cool. All right. Any armor removed this way becomes scrap. You place the scrap in the direction of the attack, like so. So this is now scrap that we can go and pick up, which we could spend on tricks or save for between bouts to buy more upgrade systems. Pretty neat, huh? Okay, that's Sentinel done. He's done his 1 attack, and that leaves Juggernauts. This card comes back to our hand, remember? Juggernaut's got manual activation, so it says we've got a maneuver for 4 and a unique action. Bring one of Juggernaut's upgrade systems online. So we can peek here and decide which one do we want to bring online. I don't think it matters because we're going to now move for 4. So remember, movement costs 1 square to move forward. 1, 2, 3. We've hit one of these. So now we could actually bring his improved handling on. Or indeed we could bring on one of Sentinels as well. Now I'm going to bring on Juggernauts. Right, so that was 1, 2, 3. We had a maneuver of 4. So we could do 1 more maneuver. I'm actually going to rotate him 90 degrees like that. So now we can move backwards and fire with our tail gun. And you've pretty much got all the rules down now, because we've ended the round, everyone's played their cards. We draw 2 more cards, and we go again. So we deal 2 to the drones. That'll be nice to kind of act before they do. So I'm going to play Juggernauts Deconstruct, so that goes in our command chain. We won't see that card back. It's a really powerful one. We won't see it again until we power down. And then for Sentinel, I'm going to go manual activation. We flip face up. So, a fast one for Scorpion. Oh, and a faster one for Hornets. They're going first. 225. Oh, so close. They played two really fast cards. All right. So Hornets going first. 255. We're going to turn an upgrade system online, which is a +1 attack. All their attacks have got stronger. The second one here is it makes them untargetable while they're on obstacle. So they kind of treat the obstacles then as like a little safety zone. And they're going to maneuver. Their maneuver is 6. So in initiative order, Hornets like to zip about. They like to change direction suddenly and just fire forwards. So this guy's actually going to just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's heading straight up here like this. Same for this guy. So he's coming down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then he's going to attack. And the Hornet's attack is 2 sides and then 1 to the rear. Okay, 2 sides, 1 to the rear. So they've got a little special. If they can't attack, they will do a flip 180, which doesn't cost any maneuver. This guy's going to flip 180 and attack. Unfortunately, being diagonal like we are, we're still not vulnerable to his attacks. So he's moved in. Maybe next time he'll get us. Next up is, what are we, 225. No Scorpions next, 232. He's going to do his trick. There's no one near the Scorpion. So they do a little dance. They'll do an attack +1 if they can. This guy's actually going to go rotate round. He's still looking for a target. This guy's going to rotate round, look for a target. So they're kind of doing this little jump. I mean, they're trying to get someone in either front or rear of them. So they do this little back and forth, kind of like it's kind of thematic. They act like a little scorpion, spooching around like this. So if you get close to them, which you've got to do, so no one to attack. Now they do their final action, which is maneuver. So they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Come right up against us. And this guy is going to go 1, 2, 3. They will pick up that scrap on the way. And then 4. And we've got ourselves a little bit blocked in here. You can't push him backwards because he's in the way. But if they pick up scrap, then they move their tactic up 1 spot. So he's almost triggered his tactic. So if we don't take these things down, they're going to get stronger. Scorpions are tough. All right, that's him done. Now I think we actually missed one of their special abilities. Ranged attacks of Scorpions do no damage when hitting the flanks. I think we might have hit him on the flank. But, you know, like I said, the details, they're not 100% just yet. This thing is still in development. Right, they picked up that scrap and moved 1 step closer to performing their tactic. Now it's us. So Juggernaut has played a really powerful card. We can maneuver 5. We can do a system and we can do an attack. So with our improved handling, we can move backwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for just 1 movement point instead of 2. And then we've got Tail Gunner as well, which says if the target is 4 or more squares away, this attack does no damage, but 1, 2, up to 3, it does 1. So we can then attack and do 1 more damage here. So we've got 1 more armor left, and that's going to put a bit of scrap here. There is 1 more icon on here, which is the system upgrade card. This means we can perform one of the actions. So some of these upgrade systems have actions on them, and this means we would be able to trigger them. This is an innate actually, and this is a new weapon, so we don't have one. We can also use this to switch out a trick from the trick market if we don't like one of these tricks. Now the other option, I guess, for Juggernaut was not to go for this Scorpion. where were we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We were here, weren't we? We could have gone 1, 2 like this and faced off against this guy, and then used our attack, which is our wrecker arms. Wrecker arms does 2 damage. That would have taken both these off and moved that hornet to critical. And the important point here, I won't play out further, but let's say I had another attack. Let's say I played volley fire, which gives me 3 attacks. We're going to do 3 attacks now against a damaged robot. So it's got no armor. Now every damage we do is critical damage. It's going to reduce this down to destroyed. So let's say we do this +1. We're going to do 3 serious damage. What we do then is we draw 3 cards, okay, because it's 3 serious damage, 3 cards, and we choose one to keep. Some of these things have effects, like an instant, like this one's system shutdown. So if we wanted to, we could say both the target robot's upgrade systems are immediately go offline. So we might choose that to try and make Hornets less potent. At the moment, Hornets attacks are upgraded to +1. Or we might say, well, actually, do you know what? I'm going to take this one here. There's 2 damage. These get shuffled back in. But we're going to do 2 serious damage. Take 2 hits. Destroy that Hornet. Once we've destroyed both Hornets, we'll claim our victory emblem and we'll move to the next bout. When your robot takes damage, let's say we get hit. Let's say Juggernaut gets hit on the right flank. This is the right flank. Then, let's say it gets hit for 2, you'll remove armor tokens. Okay. Then if he gets hit on a different flank, you remove armor tokens. But once a flank has been removed of all armor, then that damage starts coming through as serious damage. The drones are going to start adding serious damage. And when you've collected enough damage that it hits your critical damage limit, then your robot is destroyed. Okay, and your opponent wins a victory emblem. So you can see protecting the right flanks. Sentinel's vulnerable at the rear here, but stronger here. He's got 4 armor at the front and only 1 at the back. Is really important, and this is where facing comes into it. If you can perform little tricks, I haven't shown you the tricks. So I say, once you collect scrap and start spending scrap, you can do things like this: spin on a dime, play at any point during your turn to flip its facing. This one says signal boost. Play this card at the start of activation to increase your robot's speed by 20, so you could jump ahead in the queue. It's all pretty neat stuff. Anyway, I've shown you the game, I've shown you how it plays. I'm going to get back busy fine-tuning the logic. We've still got the graphic designer to do these cards, get the art sorted out, get these tokens sorted out. Still a little bit of work to do, but we're very close. And yeah, we're hoping to have all this done in the next couple of months. Exciting times. Well, that's it. That's Steel Colosseum. I hope you enjoyed this little demonstration of the game. So many ways to play a super little combat arena game, and well, I'm really pleased to just be involved in the Gauntlet game, and sharing this with you has been a real treat. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.